Okay. Um, so a little while ago, I got home from my night shift at work, and the workload was heavy, and I don't think I did particularly well at work. So that's fine. Life is a process of adjusting to various sorts of limits and shortcomings that your biological makeup naturally imposes on you. That's what I find my life to be right now, anyway. But there's a gentleman at my work who is kind of an older guy with like silver gray hair, and he has like incredibly luminous sort of blue eyes and stuff. And I don't know, when you initially look at him, you don't think that there's like anything special about him because he's kind of nondescript and low key, and most of the time he doesn't try to attract attention to himself. But on more than one occasion, um, he's looked at me and he's like given this incredibly innocent smile. And it's such like a pure innocent smile that I couldn't help but think like, I don't know, this is like the smile of someone who has like maybe met God in person and like made his peace with death, and he's just waiting to get to heaven one day or something. Like, it might sound ridiculous if you're not accustomed to seeing a smile that is so full of like innocence and warmth and radiance and like a fundamental acceptance of what is and where you are in life. But every time he every time he smiles at me, I just can't help but think like he knows some beautiful mystery or something that nobody else in the world knows. So it's something I look forward to. Um, and for the record, no, I'm not gay or anything, but like this guy just seems to have figured something out. And one day I want to maybe offer him a coffee, and I want to just kind of pick his brain because I can't help but think that like to have reached his age and to smile in the way that he does is to have played your cards right, you know? I kind of wonder if he has a spotless conscience. Um, and speaking of that, at my previous job, I was working with an older gentleman with white hair, and I will call him Mr. J for a moment. So, Mr. J was sometimes not in a good mood, but at other times, you could see that he was just offering this endless stream of warmth and kindness and compassion to whoever it is he was talking to at the registers that we were working at. And he was particularly kind to older men and women, you know. I guess the people of his generation, which is normal. Homophily is normal. But he also seems to possibly be at peace with the thought of dying or something. I can just kind of tell that by the way in which he um, was just warm and cracking jokes and so on, even though he's old. I don't really see fear, anxiety, suffering, pain, anger, depression, etc., in the faces of these gentlemen. And I feel desperate to know exactly how they've lived their lives. You know, I know you can like Google articles about like the top 5 regrets of the dying or the top 10 most, I don't know, emulation worthy decisions of happy older demographics or something, but it's different when you see these people in person and you realize like this is someone in the flesh who has lived their lives properly. I'm not naming names or identifying specifics about others, but I've met other people who age and become monstrously bitter even prior to or in the absence of conditions like dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever. So, my current wager regarding how I live is the same as it has been for most of my life, outside of excessively stressed phases. And it's to kind of try to keep the conscience clean, try to earn self-respect and so on. But like, I can't help but think that if I remain like a loner and a recluse and just help people remotely, and I don't really have like face-to-face interactions with a warm community of others, then I mean, it's one thing to say I might be missing out on something important, which I don't really care much for, but like, am I depriving the world of something fundamental by not offering, like lengthy, deep conversations to others when we're just physically present with each other and we can talk over coffee in an unstructured conversation? If you're someone who has experience preventing people from taking their lives, you know that that sort of thing can happen completely at random. You're just completely authentic with someone, they let their guard down enough, and then they just start speaking honestly about what they're going through. So, like, how many lives are we not saving while we sequester ourselves with a bunch of screens and refuse to engage in random conversations with other people? I don't know. And on that note, I'm going to go play some Resident Evil. So, thank you for watching and have a good day.